Welcome back to Wall again, where passion meets music, and in this episode I am going to be running through my favourite albums of the year for 2025. So let's dive straight in here at number 5. So coming in at number 5 for me is the album Moisturiser by English rock band Wet Leg. So this is their second studio album, and it was released on the 11th of July this year through Domino Records. I have to say, I was very surprised by this album. So Wet Leg started off as a duo. I think they released their first album around 2020, 2021. And they were just two ladies, basically. And they decided to change their style for their second album. So they brought in a backing band consisting of a guitar player, a bass player, and a drummer. And that's really taken them from what the first album was, which was kind of like an indie record, but, you know, light in parts, to a full-on rock record from what I consider. And I thought it was really, really strong, to be honest. I saw them perform on the Glastonbury set that was on the BBC. I was watching at home, and they blew me away. They were absolutely brilliant. Really high energy, very odd. I also saw them at one of the Tiny Desk concerts that was on YouTube, and I thought they were amazing on that one as well. Standout track for me on this album is Catch These Fists. I think it's really, really strong. But yeah, I think they're a good band, and certainly one to watch for the future. So that's my number 5th album for the year. Coming in at number 4 is the album Idols by Yungblud. So Yungblud came to my attention during the Ozzy Osbourne tribute concert in the summer, and I saw him sing, and I thought he was amazing. And then I decided, when I heard that he released an album on the 20th of June, I decided to go and check that out. So only a few weeks after releasing his album, he appeared at the Ozzy Osbourne tribute to sing that song, Changes. And I listened back to the album, and it was, as I say, it was released on the 20th of June through Locomotion Records in the UK and Capitol Records in the US. And I thought it was amazing. Very well produced album. Really was a rock album, no doubt about it. And I think this album was one of the strongest of the year. That's why it's coming in at number 4. My favourite track on the album, Hello Heaven Hello, the first track on the album, I thought was absolutely fantastic. It's 9 minutes long. It's an absolute epic. Really sounds like something, you know, classic rock. Harken back to that sound from the 80s. And of course, Yungblud collaborated with Aerosmith this year as well. So, we really know where he's heading in terms of his influences with, Ozzy Osbourne and Aerosmith and people like that. He's certainly gone down the classic rock stroke metal route. But before that, I think he was a bit all over the place stylistically. So good to see him knuckling down, and he's a great vocalist, there's no doubt about it. So that's my 4th favourite album. My 3rd favourite album is by the band Mammoth. Now, if you're not familiar with the band Mammoth, it's basically the project of Wolfgang Van Halen. Now, Wolfgang Van Halen, he originally, he's Eddie Van Halen's son, okay? So he started out playing bass in Van Halen when they reformed probably about 10 years ago, maybe a little bit more. And he was playing bass with them live. I think he recorded a few bits and pieces when David Lee Roth was in with them as well. And then when his father passed away, he decided to start his own project, and that was where Mammoth, Wolfgang Van Halen, or Mammoth WFG or WFH, was started. So I don't know what really the setup was then. He had been playing with Mark Tremonti in Mark Tremonti's own band, and he had also been playing with some other projects. Was it Alter Bridge? Was he involved with some of the Alter Bridge stuff? But anyway, he went on. He decided to form his own band, and he took some of the players from Mark Tremonti's band and from Slash's band, and that's basically what's this band Mammoth. Now, in the studio, my understanding is he writes all the material himself. All songs are written by Wolfgang Van Halen, and he performs all the music on the album. So he performs the vocals, guitars, bass, drums, percussion, and piano, and it's produced by Michael Basquiat. I think is also known as Elvis. So Michael Basquiat, famous for, loads of great production over the years, like most notably stuff he does with Slash. But this is a fantastic album, The End. So it's the 3rd studio album by this band, Mammoth, WVH or Mammoth. And I have to say it's amazing. It was released on 24th of October, so quite a recent album. And my favourite song off this album is the self-titled track, The End. I think it's the second song on the album. and that absolutely blew me away. Some unbelievable finger tapping and groove on that song. Wolfgang actually carried out an interview with Rick Beato a couple of months ago, so go check that out. And it was amazing. And he talks about how he recorded the album, how he wrote the album, and all these little techniques that he has on the album. He's such a gifted musician. So that's my number 2 album, Wolfgang Van Halen. Sorry, number 3, getting ahead of myself. Wolfgang Van Halen, The End. Coming in at number 2, I have this one here behind me, so I don't have my props ready. It's this one here from Turnstile, Never Enough. Okay, so this one was released in June the 6th, 2025. It was actually released while I was away on holiday, and then I found out it was out, and I listened to it on Spotify, so I had plenty of time to listen to it because I wasn't working. But this album blew me away, absolutely blew me away. I was a massive fan of Turnstile from their previous album, Glow On, and then when this one was released, couldn't wait to listen to it. On the first listen, I thought it was a bit more mainstream, a bit more poppy than their previous album, Glow On. But after listening to it multiple times, I absolutely fell in love with it. Thought it was an amazing album. Went to see them live actually this year, but they performed a hell of a lot of stuff off this album, and they absolutely blew me away. They were amazing. Spoke about that before and reviews on the channel, so definitely go check that one out. Look Out For Me is my favourite track on this album. And yeah, I just think it's amazing. There's really not a bad song on the album. It kind of goes from, hardcore punk to kind of rock, straight ahead rock, a little bit of metal in there as well, and synth pop. So, stylistically, it's a little bit all over the place, but I think it's a really, really strong album from the band and deserves to come in there at number 2 on my album ranking. Okay, so number 1 album, it's actually sitting across the room, so I'm going to go grab it. I'll be back in one sec. Okay, I was actually just listening to it there, hence the reason it was the other side of the room. Number 1 album for me this year is this one here, Skeleton by Ghost. I thought this was absolutely amazing. It was released on the 25th of April, and it was through Loma Vista Recordings, and it is the 6th studio album for the band. Their previous release, Impera, that was released when was it, back in 2022, and I thought for Impera the band went down a more kind of classic rock, AOR, radio friendly mainstream rock sound, and they continue to go down that route on this album. This album has more hooks, it's very well produced, it's very well played, the instruments are all well played now. There's fantastic guitar work, the drums sound epic, the vocals are layered as you'd expect from Tobias Forge, but I think it's a standout album for the year. It's really grown on me throughout the year, and it definitely deserves to be in there at number 1. It was really a toss-up between these 2 albums, between Turnstile and Ghost, but I'm going to have to give it to Ghost on this one. That was my favourite album of 2025. The song that I would recommend off this album, if you're interested in listening to it, is La Crima. I think that's an amazing song. They actually performed that on one of the American shows. Was it Conan O'Brien? One of those shows anyway. They performed it, and it was amazing. So they're coming to Europe next year. I'm hoping that they come and do a date in Dublin. I'll be very interested to go see this band on this tour because I believe it's amazing. But let me know in the comments below, what's your top 5 albums of 2025? I would love to hear from you. If you liked this video, stick a like on it, and if you could also subscribe, and I will talk to you on the next one. Bye for now.